Hello, sister.
Hi, sister. Namaste.
Namaste. You can hear me clearly, right?
I can hear you completely clearly. Is my voice audible? All fine? Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Just for
great.
clarification, I sent that message to a brother, but it says doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm a
All right.
nurse.
Okay. Oh, I'll
There's
take care.
that.
Yeah, we'll take care. Thank you. All right. So I'd like to take a moment to welcome everybody. Good evening to all those of us who are in India. Good morning to those who are joining us from North America and from various time zones. Greetings, heartful welcome. And today, this session that we're conducting here is going to be a very, very special one at that. And we are looking into a topic that is something that so many people around the world, especially women around the world, are actually aware of it, definitely, because it's a natural phenomenon. But are we really aware of what really goes behind the scenes when we hear the word menopause, right? It's a transition in a new phase of life of women, and it's a very emotional one at that, sometimes turbulent at that, because many a times we fail to observe that there are so many things scientifically going inside our body, that when we fail to observe that, we fail to understand what is actually going on with us, right? So today we will be decoding
Because many a
this.
time we fail to observe.
Right. So today we will be decoding that, how and when, things start taking a turn when we take our health as women, especially as we will be talking about this topic, especially as women, what are the things that we can do to take our health in our own hands, especially to all our women and all our ladies. All our respect and heart goes to you who are transitioning into this new phase of life, or in any phase of life you might be in, as every phase is as important and has its own beauty, right? And for this very special topic, of course, we have two very special speakers for today. So let me introduce the first esteemed speaker for today, Madam Rajita. She's joined here with us. Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am. And ma'am is an RN, BSN, NBC, HWC, CCM, FCN, and culinary coach, and has been practicing nursing for over 30 years in various medical specialties. She is currently working as a nurse case manager and as National Board Certified Health and Wellness Consultant. In her nursing journey, ma'am had observed a gap, or we can say, that gap area in our healthcare sector, where in between the things that are actually done to take care of the people and their well-being, and the things that actually should be done in taking care of the well-being of the people, right? And madam has also served as the president of Georgia Indian Nurses Association and as the treasurer. She has also served as the chairperson and vice chairperson of Georgia Diabetes Coalition. So all about her qualifications and about her, one thing that we could point out is her dream and keen interest into guiding people live better lives, of course, and empowering and educating women on their health and on their special needs when it comes to their health, right? And for this, she will be in conversation with the second esteemed speaker for the session today. And he is Sir Ritvik Solanki ji. And brother is actually the CEO and co-founder of the Live 360 Degree and the 360 Degree Athletics Wellness Center. He's an internationally certified nutritionist and the alumni of the esteemed Management Institute of India, IIM Ahmedabad, right? And he's working in 40 plus countries, serving people around the world live better, healthier lives, on a physical, mental, and spiritual level. So as we can already tell that this session is going to be quite power packed and very heartful at that, right? And we are very, very excited. So without any further ado, I'd like to welcome our panel members on this virtual stage. So over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sister, for welcoming. And heartful greetings and welcome to everyone who is live right now with us. And special welcome to our guest today, Sister Rajita from Atlanta, from US. She's here. And so this session is aired uh, in many countries right now. It's live in many, many countries. And a lot of people must be thinking we call each other brother and sister. So that's what the culture we have developed here in 360 Degrees Family too. We call everyone brother and sister. So that's very nice. So quickly, I'll invite sister to be with us, and we can start the talk. Hello, sister. Welcome. Welcome.
Namaskar. Thank you for having me here, brother. And thank you for all of you, the audience that are here to empower themselves with conversation today.
Yeah, so I think I misheard Sister Shivangi when she said 30 years of working experience. It looks like 13 years of working experience looking at you because looking so fit and young. And today we would all like to know your journey through all these phases of life, sister. So what are your thoughts on women's health to start with? How is it different from men's health? And why do you think it requires more attention?
Thank you for that wonderful question. So, brother, most of us, we think that men and women are one and the same. We are not. We are different because women go through phase of puberty, then reproductive ages, and then the menopause, which most, menopause is kind of forgotten. We don't talk about it as much. And the reason I am here, as you were asking, is I went through my menopause journey and it was very, very challenging because I was living as a health coach, uh, pretty fit life. And then, boom, all of a sudden, I was having all these symptoms. I went to several different um, doctors, different specialties, and pretty much all of them women too. But they could not tell me that. They just said, okay, all your labs are fine, just lose weight. That was not good enough for me. And I said, okay, I know my body. That's the thing, keying into your body. I knew my body and I said, something is not right. That's when I dug into the research and I had to self diagnose myself. Okay, I'm in menopause and started changing my lifestyle because there's a specific way we need to live during these years for the rest of our life. Whatever worked for us up till now is not going to work anymore just because of the changes in our body that we are going through.
Yeah, thank you, sister. So, one more thing uh, that to start with, like to get onto the topic for today, what is menopause? So you can like bring some light to that.
So menopause is um, 1 year where a woman goes through without any menstrual cycle. And that one day, that after the 12 months of no menstrual cycle, there's that one day. That's the only day it's called menopause. And the day after that, we are in postmenopausal state until end of our life. And prior to that, we are in perimenopause state. Perimenopause is where that's when the fluctuation of hormones start. They are all over the place, up and down. It doesn't know what to do with. So that's why there's more symptoms, that women face during their perimenopause because there's so much fluctuation in them. It's like that that end of a toothpaste, when we are trying to squeeze out, some days it will come out quite a bit and some days it doesn't.
So
So that's
true.
what is so that's
Yeah.
what is happening. So that's why our moods are very erratic. And by the time postmenopause comes, there's a decline of estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone.
Yeah, thank you, sister. So, and here the audience will also like to know, how is it diagnosed?
So there is no specific way of diagnosing this, unlike for other medical conditions, right? We have the blood work done, we have all kinds of scans done. But with menopause, it's primarily through the symptoms, where the doctor needs to really listen to you, what is going on, and pay attention to you and understand. There's not a diagnostic way they will know, only especially not during perimenopause, because even when they do the lab work, the hormones, like today when they do draw the blood work, estrogen could be fine, and tomorrow when they do it, it could be down. So that's why, especially during perimenopausal state, it's very difficult to say with the blood work. But in postmenopausal, when they see the levels down, really declining, that's when they can tell, okay, this person in postmenopause, because the estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, they're all pretty much dwindled down by then.
All right. So, thank you. So, when there is so much of fluctuation, with the hormonal levels, does it affect the mental condition during those times? I know because a lot of our senior sisters are listening to this right now, and I'm sure their families must be listening as well. So, what needs to be taken care of, even by the family, if they are behaving in certain manner, so that the family should feel that we are all in it together, to go through this phase. Can you share something about that?
Wow, that is an excellent question. Because again, especially families, they don't know what you're going through. And it's thought that, okay, you're just making this up. But that's not true. I'll just share some of the symptoms.
Sure.
Menopause, symptoms that even during perimenopause they go through are like hot flashes, low libido, no energy level at all, unable to sleep, and then foul vaginal smell, body odor, hair loss, weight gain, bloating, constipation, urinary
God,
tract infection, depression, mood swings, night sweats, waking up through the night, not able to sleep,
God,
anxiety. Anxiety disrupts their life a lot, and hair loss, brittle nails, gum soreness, heart palpitations, acne, slight irregular periods are all over the place. You never know when it's going to come. And then frozen shoulder is another big one. People don't connect that frozen shoulder and the
oh,
muscle tensed up. But out of all this, the most common ones are the hot flashes, the weight gain, especially around the belly area, the mood swings, brain fog, and unable to sleep. Because, we have like that lost for sometimes it's like, what's that word again? What's that name? You can't think of that. Yeah,
oh.
it's very frustrating. You can see a whole host of symptoms that are there.
I think if we start, addressing to each symptom and how the family should be together, with the lady, that will be another session altogether. I think that will take
Yes.
another 2 hours because, that's a separate mental condition altogether. So, yeah, I mean, being awake at night, as you said, and depression, you talked about that. So, do you have any suggestions for the family, especially for the husband or for the children, when the mother is going through this phase?
Yeah, what I would say is just listen to the mother, your partner, the spouse, whoever it is. Listen to them. Don't just write them off saying that this is how you are, or you're getting old. That's another thing I hear. Oh, you're getting
Oh,
old. It's like, just because. as you know, brother, like in our Life 360, what you do, just because you're getting old doesn't mean that we need to be just sitting down on the couch and wasting ourselves away, right? We can
So
still
true.
be lively, energetic all through the life. And please don't discount them for that and saying that this is how you are. And, you know, listen to them, be empathetic, be compassionate, do whatever you can, because this is the very, very tough time that, women is going through. You can be supportive. And also, as you are joining this, it's not just for women, men also need to listen so that they can really understand what is actually going on, with your spouse, with your mother, with your sister, so that way you have a better understanding and support them, because they need that so much, because this is the time that where you feel like so lonely, because menopause is still a taboo. It's not
Yeah.
talked about as much. People think, oh, I can't talk about it, I just have to suffer through rest of my life. You don't. We don't have to suffer. We have a vibrant life. Unlike before, you know there was not many years after menopause, ages ago. By then our lifespan was done. Now women live about 3 decades after menopause. And why do we need to suffer for that long?
So true. Yeah. Very, very true. I hope the family is listening right now. So, thank you so much, sister, for answering that. And one more thing. So, during this phase, why do women have hit flashes? So, yeah, over
um
to you.
Yeah, so hot flashes are, as I was saying earlier, they are one of the common symptoms in menopause. Because after menopause, your body primarily only makes estrone, that is E1, because most of the time when we talk about estrogen, there's three types of estrogens, okay? But when we primarily refer, we are talking about estradiol, which is E2. And then there is another form, E3, which is estriol, that is only primarily produced during reproductive years. And then it kind of disappears. And so when we mention, anytime we are talking about estrogen, it's the estradiol we are talking about. And that's what very is potent form that's produced in the ovaries. And when we have a decline of this hormone, that's when, estradiol goes down, and then slowly estrone, because the body is always craving for estrogen. So estrone, which is E1, that starts to appear. That's a weaker form of hormone of estrogen. So at this point, what's happening is your ovaries are not producing hardly any, very, very little of estrogen. And most of the estrogen you're creating are estrone, which is generated from the fat tissue. Excess estrone by the fat tissue can also cause some women to experience these hot flashes, night sweats. Some of them face this for about 20 years or more.
Oh God.
Research, yes, it's like so much of suffering through this, because sometimes some women will be like at work or doing a presentation, and all of a sudden they are hot and they start sweating. I'm sure those women, like, it feels so embarrassing in front of everybody. But there is something we can do. Around that, research has shown that having greater percentage of body fat increases your chances of having vasomotor symptoms like hot flashes, sweating, heart palpitations is another one that happens. If you have excess fat, especially around your belly, the visceral area, losing the weight can help. Another deeper dive into that is estradiol helps maintain our body core, the more important one that's there most of our life. That helps maintain our body's core temperature. And the blood flow to the skin and sweating, all of that is maintained by that. So now when you don't have that estradiol, which is declining, then we lose that control of that body temperature that's being maintained. And then that's when what happens is your brain overreacts to these changes and thinks that it is too hot. And even, even when it's not hot for you, you're not hot, you're fine. But that's what the brain is thinking because of the decline in estradiol. So it tells your body to release that excess heat by widening your blood vessels. Then after the heat is released, then it says, okay, it's too hot. Then it widens the blood vessels and here releases the fluid onto the skin to evaporate and the cool down. So that's when it's like hot, that cold happens, that feeling shivery due to the drop in that core body temperature. So again, the research around that shows that loss of estrogen, that reduced density, it also reduces that serotonin receptors because estrogen helps with that serotonin production. Now you don't have that, and decrease in serotonin activity also contributes to the hot flashes and night sweats. And these hot flashes are more neurotransmitter related. You think hot flashes are in the body. It's really stuff is happening in your brain and the brain health it's affecting. Hypothalamus is very, very sensitive to temperature and appetite. So while this estrogen is receding and serotonin is not being produced as much, and the countering norepinephrine is just hanging out without its partner, the serotonin. So now the hypothalamus is perceiving that there is a threat and saying, I need to speed myself up. And sometimes it's about to happen. That is when that, instantaneous hot flashes come about. All of a sudden, you'll find 1 minute, next minute they come on. Once that instant hot heat builds up inside the body, then the hypothalamus is saying, I'm too hot now. I need to cool down. So that's when it starts cooling it down and that shivering response happens. So hot flashes are not just benign things. They're happening in your brain with the decline in estrogen. That it's that thermostat, that we maintain the temperature, that's broken. And the body cannot sense, when to cool off. So women who have these severe hot flashes, they can last for a very long time, can be higher risk for cardiovascular disease, depression, anxiety. Especially African American women have the most symptoms. They have it like 10 years before menopause and 10 years post menopause.
Oh,
For them, they go through a lot more. So that's the reason we have to understand this is not just benign. We need to get treatment. They are not done, and also people think, oh, once my hot flashes are over, I'm done. I'm done with my menopause. That's not true. Our brain is constantly remodeling, even after you don't feel those symptoms. So that's the reason we do need to take care of ourselves.
thank you so much, sister, for sharing that deeper science behind it. It's certainly going to help, our sisters to navigate through, this tough time. That brings me to the next question. You talked about losing more of the visceral fat and the belly fat. So is it just walking that a person should do, or just yoga, or just some Pilates, or like strength training? What do you recommend? What exercises are the best, or should it be a combination of everything? What do you suggest?
So again, that's the most that we do, right? Walking, yoga, Pilates. These are all wonderful, wonderful exercise movement to our body. But during this stage for this visceral fat, that, the fat that's accumulated around our internal organs, that's when it also, as you know, it also contributes to our insulin resistance, right? And the metabolic and our cardiovascular um, uh, diseases. So the best thing, primarily we need to focus is um, strength training. Strength training that at least 2 to 3 times a week, where you're lifting very, very heavy weight. Again, you're not going to be lifting this overnight. You're not going to stop after this. You're not going to start lifting, because when you're not used to, it's a slow buildup of it. Slowly balancing, training how to, because the goal is not for you to get hurt. The goal is for you to get stronger. So strength training, eventually when you get to that point, lifting heavy, heavy weights, where you lift, where after 5, 6 times it's so heavy you can't lift anymore, and then you rest for about 30 seconds, and then you lift again about five five reps, 5 cycles. So it doesn't take very long, just a warm up and a cool down after that. So those are primarily thing that needs to be focused for the visceral fat. On the other days, you can do the other stuff, yoga, Pilates, walking, and all that stuff. But the visceral fat is, not just that fat sitting, it's that hormonal fluctuations of that estrogen decline. And what happens also during that time, as that estrogen is declining, cortisol is going up. Cortisol is our stress hormone, right? That
Yeah,
plays a significant role in so many other things with the
so
cortisol.
true.
And that is one of the things why our sleep is disrupted. And that's just one of the factors. All these are kind of interwoven together. And the other changes that's happening during this time is our favorite gut. Our gut microbiome goes through a lot of changes. And that's also a big thing we need to look at, what's happening to our gut. What can women do about that? But, also we all want something really fast to fix us. There's no magic bullets. There's no magic supplements, magic pills. We do need to work and consistently for the changes to happen so that that belly fat slowly over time melts off. The best strategy is being multifactorial, not just one or the other, that helps you increase that, the metabolic rate, and leaves, so that your sex hormones are kind of instigated. So, as I was saying, one of the things, these are all scientifically shown, one of the things is strength training. We talked about the muscle mass, right? And also, they have done a study on men and women, because we are always looking at something, whatever the men are doing, we are trying to do. Men and women, ages 61 to 77, they have done a research, and the participants did strength training twice a week for 25 weeks. At the end of the trial, women and men both lost equal amounts, about 4 pounds of total fat, but only women lost a significant amount of abdominal fat. So both the subcutaneous and the visceral fat. So the strength training, it not only helped with that visceral fat, it also improved the insulin sensitivity, which, also with the insulin sensitivity brings up to the second thing. It's about managing our blood sugars. During menopause, so many fluctuations are happening with the hormones going all over the place, and it makes it very difficult for the blood sugars to be managed and stay in balance. So that's when we have a tendency of, we are craving for that sugary foods, the carbohydrates, because we are so sensitive. And so that's when that vicious cycle happens. That visceral fat starts, forming and gaining weight, and then the insulin resistance. It's just, all over again. So again, our liver is also involved in it, right? Which is a reservoir for the gateway for much of the body's stored glucose. And that, when it's surrounded by fat, it causes metabolic dysregulation. That means that your body is forced to pump more insulin out in order to get that glucose into the cells, because we need that insulin, right, to get that glucose into the cells. And insulin is a fat storing hormone. So then more insulin is pushed out, and then what's happening? You are gaining more and more weight, and that makes it difficult to lose weight. So that also when we talked about strength training, it's very important to fuel around our workouts, because when your muscles are primed, that's when it can pull that glucose, right? So prioritizing strength training, and also consuming protein, timing it where you're consuming about 15 to 20 grams of protein before the workout, strength training, and then 30 grams post within 30 minutes. That is very, very important. And then 30 grams of protein with every meal. And then 10 to 20 grams with snacks. That does sound a lot, but they have done studies where on sedentary women, where they gave lots of protein, they were totally sedentary, they did not do any movement, but after about 10 weeks or so, they did lose weight and build some muscle. So that's the reason it is important to add that strength training with high intensity strength training that can be done. And even sprint intervals where just for 30 seconds, you're going really, really fast and then, slowing it down. That way you're stimulating that area, because postmenopausal women also have this type 2 diabetes, most of them. And, they store that, the fat in there. So that short burst that really helps pound that out slowly, but surely it will if you're consistent with it. So, yeah, it's important to have that warm up and cool down. Sorry, I just went on a long tangent with that.
No, sister, you don't need to be sorry. Thank you so much for, you know, diving deeper into each aspect of this condition, and we can already, see that your zeal and then your enthusiasm, to add value to people's lives, you really want all our sisters, to navigate, to go through this really nicely, sail through this situation. Thank you so much. So, so many things happen during this phase, even before uh, that menopause starts and after menopause. When does this all go away? That is the second last question I have for you.
When does this all
Yeah.
go away? um, by making the lifestyle changes, menopause, we are not going to be out of menopause, right? As I was saying earlier, rest of our
Yeah.
lives, we are in menopause until we die. So for some people that think when I don't see any symptoms, I'm done with menopause. No, you are in menopause rest of your life. When does that go away? The symptoms kind of get tame, subside when you are making these lifestyle changes. When you are making the lifestyle changes, that is when you will do it. But initially, you need that coach, like how right now in our Life 360, that community, we need that, the coach that will help you through that, because you are in women are in such a state of distress with all of these things going on. And also, this is the time of the life for professional women. They are at the peak of their career, and then boom, all of the sudden these symptoms come. And also like They are in the, like in that sandwich generation, trying to take care of our elderly parents. You have the work responsibility, and you might be having like teenagers, adult children that you're trying to take care. So many things you're trying to balance. That is a lot of stuff going on inside in your life.
So true.
On
So
top
true.
of all of these, right? That's the reason we need our men to support us and be with us and understand us. So the thing is about carving time out for them to do this. Because most of our lives, what do women say? Okay, I need to do this. I need to care for my children. I need to care for my spouse, my parents. But when does that time to care for yourself come? This is the time. You need to put that flashback light back on you. Say, this is my time, no matter who, let the family know. Hey, this is my time. This is what I'm doing. I'm practicing. I'm doing meditation now. This is my exercise time. These are my meals that I am eating according to Life 360. Whatever, our
Yeah.
how it's designed with a gut-friendly plate. So that's how you need to let them know ahead of time, and hopefully you won't get much of a pushback. And no matter what, you can't say, I'll do this another time. My child needs me. No, you need to carve out that time. When you say that's your time, that's your time. That then only it will really work and you will see that changes.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing, sister. Thank you so much for sharing such important points. While we move on to the last question, here is so much of love in the comment section. Our audience and brothers and sisters are pouring over you. Dr. Sarojini, she's saying such good initiative. And then we have Sister Mukta Barwal. She said, "Thank you for such an insightful session." All these, so many messages are coming all for you. Okay, so all this love is pouring, you know. So another question we have is from Neeta Barwani, Sister Neeta Barwani. Morning, would be there any supplement you would recommend that can help brain fog? I think Sister already answered that. There's not a magic pill, There it has to be a holistic way of approaching this condition specifically. But over to you, Sister. You'd like to add anything to that, to this
No,
question?
you said it perfectly. It is a holistic approach. It's not just exercise, it's not just food, it's also about stress management, all the things that we are doing. Yoga and meditation, our heartfulness way of meditation, and cleaning in the end of the day, in the evenings. All of these and pranayama that we do, it's not one or the other. It's all these symptoms. Sometimes we say, okay, what do I do for this? Like we get the prescription pill, right? Okay, you take this medicine for high blood pressure. But in here, we have to do all the different things to affect so that every single thing, it's addressed. That then only, if you only do one or two things, you won't see that much of a difference. You want to maximize this, and you want to show to your rest of the family and your children that, hey, even though you're getting old, that's just the number, right? It's just the body is getting old, but our soul is always young. So doesn't matter. You are going to still keep that strength and get going, and you're going to be energetic. And one big thing I talk to my clients is really first thing understanding, why are we doing this? What is it that kind of triggers when you say, then you won't push back on it. Why are we doing this? For me, because I want to live a healthy, vibrant life. I want to be traveling with my husband, hiking in nature. I love nature. And to be able to be fit and active when the grandchildren come along, where I'm not struggling, I'm actually playing with them. So that's when we have to understand, why do we want to do this? Then we can deeper dive. Okay, that's the reason I need to invest that time in me.
Yeah. Thank you, sister. We can already see that you love nature, in your background. And we can also see some birds chirping, we can also hear that.
Yeah, that's my backyard.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. Really nice. So, last question, sister. You have been in the healthcare world for a long time, that area, and I've been living in America for decades now. So, so this is basically a question. There are two parts to it. Uh, how has been your experience of Live 360 degrees? And why would you recommend people in North America, entire US, Canada, to opt for the program? And what has been your experience? And specifically, how it can help our sisters? I mean, that's what our topic for today is. Yeah, over to you.
Yeah. I have been, I joined Live 360, and thanks to Sanjay brother, who recommended this for me. And every single person needs a coach. We need that accountability person, somebody. So that's what Live 360 is for me. Like, it really, feels you have the community, and even though the person is not in front of me, I'm connecting with them virtually, I can see that they are really vested in you. And, they are constantly helping you, guide you, correct you, and with every single thing, with the nutrition, the meals that we take pictures and put it on, and with whenever we are doing exercise, is that posture correct or not? Turn your cameras on, because we try to feel shy, we turn it off, and also helping you with the during that sleep time, constant reminder of meditation. How do we improve our, it's like a completely different approach, addressing every single need of our body, all the different prongs of lifestyle, that, and not just that, here, living here, we mostly hear about the American food around that. So after a very long time, I'm eating more and more of Indian food, believe it or
Yeah.
not. This,
Your meal plates are really beautiful, and such so colorful meal plates, and very nutritious, of course.
uh,
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, this is an excellent program. I really love to continue this. This is not like a diet. It's a lifestyle change. That that's the big thing, huge difference between diet and a lifestyle change. They are showing us how to live a life full of being vibrant, healthy. At the same time, you're not depriving yourself. You're still eating quite a bit of food. And, as you know, our taste buds change over time, right? Just those first about 10, 20 days, you eat the healthy version of it. Over time, that's what you're going to start liking. Um, all those greens, the green smoothies, and all of that. So, yeah, I would not be thinking that, oh, this is restrictive. Not at all. It has all kinds of food, and whatever to your taste, whatever your lifestyle, to adjust it. So it's not a cookie cutter thing. It's to your way of living, however you're used to. So I'm enjoying it.
Wow, thank you, sister. So happy to know that. Very, very happy to know that. So thank you so much, sister, for your time. And few announcements are there, There is World Mental Health Day. It's on 10th. So I think it's on Sunday, I feel. It's on Sunday. We are coming up with a session with psychiatrist, a doctor, and we'll also be having some psychologists there, because as sister talked about the mental health thing, which is also related to menopause. So it'll be very nice if everyone, each one of you can attend that session. So do follow the page so that you can get the link. Do subscribe to the page so that you can get the link of that session, and you can be updated with that. So thank you so much, sister, for your time. And you actually became the answers. You were not giving the answers, you became the answers to so many of our sisters who were really looking uh, for those answers which you just said. So thank you so much, sister. Thank you so much for taking time. Have a very, very good day today.
Thank you for having me on your platform. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you for all brothers and sisters who are joining, who are ready to empower themselves to live a healthy and a vibrant life.
Thank you, sister.
Wow. What else is left to say? What a power-packed session that was. And I can only say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, sister and brother Ritvik ji. The session was really something that was needed, definitely. And for all our sisters who were listening and who are now transitioning to this phase, are going through this transition, we really, really hope that this insightful session really brought a lot of positivity in your life, and a hope that, there are better ways of managing and there are smoother ways of sailing through this phase. So, yes, as Brother Ritvik had mentioned already, do subscribe to the page, Live 360 Degrees, the one you're watching this on. And you can also turn on the notification icon so that you get all the notifications about the future sessions, such insightful sessions that we will be continuously, coming up with. And mental health doesn't really need, a very strong introduction to it. We all know how important it is in these days to take care of it. And that is the next session that we are planning. And it will be an extremely power-packed and an extremely insightful session. So stay tuned for that. And I really hope that you have a wonderful day ahead or a wonderful evening ahead from wherever you're watching this. So thank you so much once again to our lovely audience. Thank you so much for pouring all your love and affection and gratitude in the comment section, and being such a lovely and interactive audience. So with this, signing off, this was Live 360 Degrees with Sister Rajita and Brother Ritvik ji, and your host,